Yeah, thank you for having me.
You're most
I'm so
welcome.
happy.
So before we begin, I'd like to
Yep.
welcome everybody who's watching. I have today a very special guest. I met her when we were both in Singapore, and I just thought that Emily's story is not just going to inspire, but really teach us very many lessons in life. And as we go through Emily's story, I just want you to understand that we all go through different things and it doesn't really matter. It's how we approach it and what we do about it that really counts. So, before we get into all those really good stories, Emily, would you want to talk to us a little bit more about yourself, please?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for that introduction. Very flattering.
It's true.
um, I'm Emily Orcullo. I've been living and based here in Singapore for almost 20 years now. So I'm married. I have a teenager boy, and yeah, that's a different
I know.
story.
A whole different interview in
Transitioning,
itself, right?
interview by itself, transitioning to be a teenager parent. Um, so what do I do? So I am actually working for a toy company. I don't know if you can tell from my background. I am a supply chain director, and I've been quite busy lately also because with COVID-19, the supply chain has been under so much pressure. So exciting times for us in terms of work.
Wonderful, Em. Wonderful. Let's start with the beginning. And when I
Yeah.
say the beginning, Em, I want to understand really how do you get from graduating to becoming a director? What was that like?
That's quite a long story. Okay, maybe a little bit of backstory.
Mm.
So I came from Davao City in the Philippines. And my background is also I'm the eldest in a family of four siblings. And I came from a poor family actually. And very early, I already know that my chances of going to university would be very low because we're a big family, and my parents were also clear with me that we have to prioritize my brothers because someday they would also become the breadwinners in the family. And women normally when they get married they just stay at home, so that was the old school thinking. But I know that I can do more, and if I really want to achieve more in my life I have to do something about it. So very early, I've been scouting and scouting for scholarships. And okay, you can imagine how many I've approached.
Mm.
Ang kapal ng mukha ko to really talk to people and, present myself. But no pain, no gain,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So I just, took the chance. And then I finally ended up with a scholarship with the government. But it is for chemical engineering,
Huh.
which, to be honest, I have never dreamed to become an engineer. I would say I have become an accidental chemical engineer. If I had to do it again,
Yeah.
if we have the resources, I would have loved to be in economics or something in the line of probably business management and economics. But didn't happen. But anyway, life is still good.
Mm.
So I enrolled to university, even though I didn't really, you can say, like engineering. I just have to, get by, get a degree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, but I became more like major in extracurricular
Yeah.
activities. So all the clubs in school I am in, debate club, the school paper, I'm in the Glee Club. I'm in every club, and no regrets because, to be honest, I learned much more through working with teams.
Yes.
I have learned much more to be creative when something is presented to you that is not in a book.
Yeah.
You just need to figure things out. I have also learned to really present myself and be a leader as well, through those avenues. So no regrets at all. So fast forward when I finally graduated.
Wow.
So now I have to, say in Philippines, you have to also take the licensure
Right.
exam.
Right. Engineering.
Right, engineering. So 5 years, and then you have like a 1 year to prepare for the board and take the exam before you are really like an engineer.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
so I mean that was also quite a hardship because we don't really have resources, and
Yeah.
back then you have to go to central Manila in order to take the exam.
Right.
But anyway, with what we have and what I can do, I went to Manila. Um, no money,
Wow.
just going by, living with our relative
Right.
who also had their issues at that time.
Right. Right.
And the most memorable for me is exam week.
Okay. Okay. Tell us.
Um, this before exam week, for the first time, I've experienced like a big typhoon in my life.
Oh, okay.
Like the true typhoon, not the
Right.
the
Right.
metaphor typhoon.
Right.
Um, so because in Davao we normally don't experience these things.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yes, yes, exactly. So I never get to experience it until when I was in Manila.
Yeah.
That happened, and where I lived, there was like a big flood.
Oh, okay.
So all my books that I need to bring for the exam, they were all wet.
Oh
Um,
my God.
Now, for those of you who are, I guess, familiar with engineering, and if you are preparing yourself for the board exam, it is a must-have to bring those technical books
Oh wow.
because you need to refer to some tables
Yeah.
and charts
Yeah.
in order to, answer the questions.
Yeah.
So I have to live with bringing wet books
As
to the
if.
exam. And to be honest, with the 5 or 6 months I've been in Manila, I never really had the chance to review in a quality way.
Yeah.
Because I'm just so distracted with so many things, is
Yeah.
what happened in my life. I have to also manage the change myself.
Right.
My first time to be in Manila, living, with a relative that we're
Right.
not really that close,
Yeah.
and adjusting to the commute
Yeah.
and so many things.
Yeah.
So this is the desperate time of my life where I said, should I do this, or should I already quit?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, you can imagine my confidence is negative, not
Yeah.
even zero.
It's like you're battered na, no? It's
I
like,
am.
oo,
Yes.
it's as if talagang everything was against you.
This
Wow.
is the lowest of the low. I don't have money. My books are wet. I don't even know where is MLQU. Can you imagine? So this is the testing center.
Yeah.
And I'm coming from Malabon. Okay, that's where I
Okay.
lived at
Okay.
that time.
Okay.
um, I don't know how to get there. So, just to survive this, because I decided I will finish this.
Wow.
I came to Manila to, finish, sorry, to study for
Yeah.
the board exam, and then to take the board exam. So I will follow through and complete that objective for
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
Even if I will not pass,
Yeah.
at least I tried.
Yeah.
Because what I don't want to happen is I did not try at all
Yeah.
after all these effort and all these challenges, right?
The bigger
So I
regret.
decided, okay, I'm gonna do this no matter what happens. So first challenge, MLQU, where are you?
Oh my God.
I don't know.
And Emily,
Um,
you were only what, 22, 21 at this time, no?
no, even younger. I
Even
was
younger.
what? Probably was it 19?
Wow. Okay. So a
19
19-year-old lost in
yeah.
the city of Manila, looking
was-
for a university, take the exams. Oh my
Yeah. So
God.
that was a testing center assigned.
Okay.
Um, so I did ask, my auntie who was with me, but uh, she could not guide me that much at that time, which I also don't blame her. So anyway, I had to just do my own discarte, if you
Yeah.
know what I mean. So I lost my money actually because in this whole story, we were also changing houses
Oh,
very often.
okay.
And along the way, when we were moving, somehow, what money I have left, I lost my wallet.
Oh my God.
Uh, so this is like that's why I say it's a negative, like it's the lowest of the low. But I have to survive, and I have to just finish this race that I
Yeah.
have set up for myself. So one day, so I took the train, the MRT, and then I dropped that. I forgot now the station. Sorry, ha.
Okay. Okay.
I dropped at the station closest to MLQU, but still I don't know where MLQU is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I don't know why I was so bold. I Pumara ako ng taxi.
Okay.
I asked, the taxi driver bring me to MLQU
Mm.
with my very heavy bag, which is still full of wet books.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Um, and then here I am in MLQU, but guess what? I don't have money to pay this taxi. So what did I do? I told the driver, wait for me because I need to. I just need to make up a story
Yeah.
in order
Yeah.
to do this. I don't have change. I need to go up and
Yeah. Yeah.
find my change so that I can pay you. I left my bag to assure the taxi driver that I'm gonna go back. So I went to the assigned kind of floor for us,
Mm.
looked for classmates or friends that I could find, borrowed money, and that's how I paid the taxi driver. And this went on for 3 days.
Amazing. Amazing. So the exam was
And
3 days.
3 days, two and a half to be exact. Two and a
Okay.
half to be exact. Yeah. And the books that I mentioned to you, they're really almost useless because when you open it, dikit-dikit.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So I'm more afraid to like kind of damage further the book.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, but I know that there is no way for me to survive this without God,
Yeah.
and this is I think where our faith is also coming to play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so to be honest, if you ask me, I just surrendered it.
Amazing.
And all I ask is just guide me with the questions.
Yeah.
It's a multiple choice, so naturally I just eliminate those that are obviously wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's meant to be tricky
Yeah.
also. So
Yeah.
for those that I'm having a little bit of a dilemma, I pray each time, and that's
Mm.
how I just managed every day.
Wow.
I know for sure that God is with me,
Yeah.
and I don't want to worry too much
Yeah.
also about it,
Yeah.
because if you surrendered something, you should
Yeah.
trust
Yeah.
that it will come to you and will
Yeah.
come back as grace.
Yeah.
But anyway, the other thing also to survive is I don't have food. Um, and I mean, for those of your audience who's familiar with the board exam, you're not allowed to go out.
Oh, okay.
So you have to bring your own food.
Okay.
Um, and you don't necessarily know which room you will be assigned because it's intentional also para you don't stay with the same group.
Right. Right.
um, so if I look back at what happened to me again, just by the grace of God, for some reason, you know, people who are in front of me, they always have extra food. So I can understand because, our
Possible.
parents, di ba, when we go through like a big exam, we always have extra baon.
Yeah, yeah,
And all I have to do is ask, really. There's just abundance of food. I just need to ask. They're all extra food.
yeah.
Uh, so that's what I've been doing every day. And
Galing.
yeah, I don't have to be apologetic about my situation.
Yeah.
I don't have to be embarrassed. I
Yes.
don't have to feel ashamed.
Yes.
I believe that, what is in front of me is grace.
Yeah.
So I just need to ask.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And then, end the day with a prayer also. Thank you. And then another
Amazing.
day
Amazing.
tomorrow.
That's so amazing, Em, because I can see how early on divine providence, faith,
Yeah.
trust were very much part of your life already. Such good themes to develop, no? At such an early age. How very
Yeah.
blessed talaga. And
And
nakakatuwa because kahit na ang daming things, there were so many things against you, you
yeah,
identified what was still working, what was still
yeah,
to be grateful for.
yeah.
It.
And again, there can only be two choices.
Right.
Either you give up,
Yeah.
come back home
Yeah.
empty,
Yeah.
or get going,
Yeah.
get help,
Yeah.
and just give it your best shot. I
Mhm.
mean, you don't know what comes back.
Yeah.
That's why I told myself, what I don't want is I did not try.
Yeah.
So if I will just give this, my best self
Yeah.
and try,
Yeah.
let's see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I did not really expect that I will pass. In all honesty,
Yeah. Yeah.
because when I compare myself with how others have prepared
Right.
themselves,
Right.
you know more or less where you
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. Yeah.
For me, it's more about just really completing something that I've put on myself as a mission.
Yeah.
I don't want to
Yeah.
go home empty.
Yeah.
So if I pass, well and good. If I don't, I will move on and find
Amazing.
a job. This will not define me. I still have, many years in my life. I'm
Yes.
just
At
years old.
19. Amazing, M. So now that you finally got through your degree, right? What
Yeah.
was your first job? You now were a
Oh,
professional. You were an
yeah.
engineer, and your parents must have been so proud. But
Good question. So I came back to Davao
yeah,
and fresh from the board exam. Of course, I
right,
applied more. So my
right.
first job was actually with Coca-Cola.
Okay, okay. A
Some of
big
my
company.
friends back then, that's like long time ago, still remember me. But so chemical engineering,
Yeah,
typically you would be more or less, aligned to a job
right.
in manufacturing. Uh,
Yes.
so I was part of a quality assurance team.
Okay,
Uh, so that was part of so that's my job
okay,
basically, quality.
okay.
And then within that, there is a routine. So, you check temperature, check pressure. And it's very interesting now that I think about it. One of my job is to taste Coke every 30 minutes. Oh my goodness.
It's your
It's just
it's
all part of the, you can say, quality test.
yeah.
And I've been doing that for a 12-hour shift.
Wow.
Um, and I must say, at the very early age, and this is just my first job, right?
Right, right.
I have already hit a crossroad. And the crossroad is, you know, uh, I have very, you can say, high ideals of
Yeah,
what I could do in my life. And having this routine every day, 12 hours, and it's almost a predictable life.
yeah,
I felt like I could really do more, and you know, uh, I could experience more than this. So I didn't really stay long. I was just there for 6 months. And now, if you offer me like soda, I would think twice because I
Yeah.
think I have enough soda in my life.
I know.
Yeah.
True, true.
So anyway, so I didn't really stay long. I have to acknowledge I'm feeling this
Yeah.
questioning,
Yeah.
and I have to find myself
Mm.
and find my calling. What do I really want now that I have this degree, and
Yeah.
what is next for me? So I took another leap of faith. I applied for an NGO, very, very different.
Okay.
Almost unthinkable if you have a chemical engineering degree.
Yeah, yeah.
So I could have applied for something like a big company. But
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
what attracted me is back then, and Duterte is still our mayor.
Okay.
Uh, there was a big campaign for investments in
Okay.
Davao City.
Okay.
Uh, and the job, so part of the job is to, you can say, assess these investments
Oh,
and, look at the environmental impact.
yes.
That to me is meaningful.
Yes,
And
yes.
I really, really love that job because not only can I really apply also what I have learned, but also I'm meeting a lot of people.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember this was the birth of the East ASEAN Growth Area, the BIMP
Wow.
cluster.
Wow.
So I was part of that, and we were meeting different chambers of
Yeah.
commerce, and we were opening the city to a lot
Yeah.
of investors.
Yeah.
And I like being part of a bigger cause,
Yes. Yes.
um, and being able to help. And I don't really mind yet how
Yeah.
much money I get, but
Yeah.
I am more investing on my learning and
Yeah.
my network, and
Experience.
my experience
Yeah.
and what I could get out of it.
Yeah.
But the reality is still, it's just a project, you see.
Yeah.
In any NGO, it's very, you can say, short term then, and it's not really your, you can say, like your long term bread and butter.
Mm, okay.
So I still have to deal with, I'm the eldest in the family. This
The
time
res-
my father passed away, so I have to help out. And I also have to think of myself, like what is my longer term career goal. So I chanced upon a kind of a school hiring, like a
okay.
PNG came to
Oh, okay.
Davao, and
Yeah.
then they opened it up to my university. So I said, okay, let me just give this a try.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, remember, I'm still fresh from my Coca-Cola days,
Yes. Yes.
and what they are offering is also like a manufacturing job.
Okay.
Uh, but this time, I know how to position myself.
Right.
I think this time I'm much clearer of what I want.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you wouldn't believe what happened in the interview.
Okay.
So they were interviewing for a baby care line. So Pampers is the
Okay.
brand.
Okay.
They need a crew,
Okay.
uh, and they need to staff this with a team of engineers, basically.
Okay.
Um, so that was the job opening.
Yeah.
And I remember I barely passed you can say, the exam,
Hmm.
but I proceeded with the interviews. So there are 3 rounds of interviews.
Right.
Before my first interview, I had a conversation with myself. I said to myself, okay, you've already experienced a manufacturing environment and a manufacturing role. Of course, they have to uh, pinpoint that the role open is, production
Yeah.
crew.
Yeah.
So I took the chance to pitch in what I want. I crafted more or less the role that I would like.
Amazing. Okay, go.
Um, but I took a risk
Yeah.
because if I do this, if I
Yeah.
go in this direction, it could be again. two outcomes, right? Straight
Right.
away,
Right.
get out.
Yes.
This is not
No.
what we're looking for. Full no.
Yeah.
Or if I take my chance, they will listen
Yeah.
and somehow think differently about
Yeah.
what I could prefer, right? So again, quit or take the chance.
Yeah.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
Um,
Always.
Again, I said to myself, I will take this chance. I will try.
Yeah.
I believe if you are true to yourself, the universe will help you.
Yeah.
You just need to try, and you just need to give it your best self.
Yeah.
um, so I did. So first interview, I described what I could do.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm good at. Here
Yeah.
are my strengths.
Yeah.
I know you are looking for this, but
Yeah.
you know what?
Yeah.
I can also do this, and this.
Right.
So they said, okay, thank you.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
and then I waited, and then they asked me to go for the second round. These all happened on the same day.
Okay.
Campus recruitment, so they are just there for a day.
Yeah.
Uh, so second interview, the same, and then I pitched in again, consistent, the same, and then I waited, and then I tell myself, if I am still called for third interview, that means I've now kind of passed the risk
Yeah.
level, right?
Right.
And then
Yeah.
we all have to wait. What is the result at
Yeah.
the end of the day? This is now in the afternoon.
Wow.
And long story short, I was chosen to be part of this batch. If I remember correctly, I was the only female in this batch.
Wow. Wow.
And we were asked to, fly to Cabuyao because that's the plant that
Right.
we will be hired. And lo and behold, after 3 months, I still
Yeah.
have to go to the engine, like the technical training.
Right.
I
Right.
didn't know what
Yeah.
was brewing behind the scenes
Yeah.
because what I expressed what I think I could do and not necessarily the production role. I
Yeah.
also don't know if they have something, around that. Uh, but anyway, again, this is where, the element of faith again comes back and comes in.
Yeah.
I just surrendered it. I just need to trust something is brewing for me.
Yeah.
I've done what I think I should do. The rest of the magic will have to work out by itself. So 3 months after the training, now we have to hear what is the exact role that we will be assigned.
Right.
So lo and behold, I was assigned to be a planner, planning materials for this line,
Okay.
and that was the start of my supply chain career.
Amazing. From wet books to now, you know? Amazing. I love it. So that tells me, Em, also, no, your resilience. I have just a quick question. And
Yes.
a lot of people feel like they have to have this sense of confidence, right? Where do you think your confidence was coming from?
I think it's just my faith.
It
To be
was.
honest, I don't have confidence. And what I mean by that is I clearly am not, the smartest. I clearly don't have the resources. I don't have the connections. I don't have, you can say, what most successful or our idea of a successful person might have in the beginning. But all I have is my God.
Yeah, yeah. And every time you have that, you have more than enough, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Wonderful,
And
wonderful testimony.
he will give what is sufficient and
Yeah,
probably more.
yeah,
He knows better what is best for
yeah,
us.
yeah.
So, what more can I ask? I don't have to have everything right from the start.
That's true. That's
So I just really kind of hang on to that. Um, and so far, he has been truly faithful.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
and I just trust that whatever happens to me and my family,
yeah.
it's really just by the grace of God.
Amazing, Emily. Amazing. I can't imagine a more beautiful testimony to divine providence than your story, honestly. Because
Oh, thank
guys,
you.
you don't know this, but in Emily's case, she is now a landowner. She has a house. She has all these properties. She is the very definition of success. I promise you. We can't go into all that detail, but I want us to really appreciate her story for what it is, because it's really somebody going against the grain, and by sheer faith and sheer will gets her goals done. I want us, Emily, to now
Okay.
travel from the Philippines to Singapore. What was this
Okay.
transition like? How does this happen?
Yeah.